What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. So for this video, I want to go through a sample schedule 1A for additional deductions. This is a new form for 2025. And specifically, we want to look at how to calculate the deductible portion of your overtime pay. So the no tax on overtime was implemented under the One Big Beautiful Bill. And so we want to go through an example as to how that's calculated, how it's reported on the return. So we've got the Schedule 1A in front of us. We're going to be working with Parts 1 and then down here in Part 3 for the no tax on overtime. And this is part of a full 1040, so we'll have a look at pages 1 and 2 as well to see how everything kind of flows through. And then we also have a couple of notes here on the actual tax rules themselves. And then a sample pay stub for the employee that we're going to be working with so we can get a better sense of kind of how these numbers are moving around. And then lastly, a sample W-2. So what might be reported on W-2 and then how you can use that information to complete the form. So if we start with the tax rules here. So the section we're working with is Internal Revenue Code, Section 255. And so these are the key points that we need to remember. So the biggest misconception with this was that all of your overtime pay can be deducted. And that's not the case, right? The only deductible piece is that half portion. So the premium portion on top of your regular rate. So in 255A, you're allowed a deduction equal to the qualified overtime comp received during the year. And C1 defines overtime comp as the overtime compensation that's paid to an individual required under Section 7 of the FLSA of 1938, right? And this is the excess of the regular rate at which such individual is paid. So it's just that half portion that you can potentially deduct on your return. And like anything else, there's limitations and phase outs. So the phase outs here, you have to reduce the deduction by $100 for every $1,000 that your modified AGI exceeds either $150K if you're filing a single return or $300K if you're doing married filing jointly. And this is just a screenshot of some of the text that's on the IRS website and some of their materials. And so they lay out just at a high level here for 25 through 28. Individuals who receive qualified overtime comp can deduct the pay that exceeds the regular rate. And they note here, generally the half portion of your time and a half comp that's required under the FLSA, and it's reported on your W-2. And so the maximum deduction is $12,500 if you're a single filer or $25K if you're filing a joint return. And then these phase outs start to happen as your modified AGI exceeds 150K or 300K, right? Again, so what we saw in 255 B2 Cap A. All right, so let's have a look at an example to see how all this kind of comes together. So this is a very simple kind of year-to-date pay stub for our employee. So we can see here we've got basically three categories. Your pay stubs might be substantially more complicated, but this is a very simple one just to illustrate kind of how all this works. So let's assume that John gets paid at a regular rate of $40 an hour. So we can see here during the year he took 19-20 hours of regular pay at $40 for $76,800. And he had 2 weeks of vacation throughout the year, so 80 hours of vacation at a regular rate. And here was his overtime comp. So throughout the year, he worked more than 40 hours a week during some weeks, and the total number of hours was 125. And we can see here the adjusted rate is 60, right? So this is the time and a half rate for a total of $7,500. Now, again, this is the misconception, right? A lot of people kind of, understandably so, thought that the full $7,500 was going to be a deduction. Not the case, right? It's just the excess component. So in his case, just the excess $20 that he can deduct. So, a quick and dirty calc is if you have this separate, you can divide that by 3. That'll give you the number. Or, over here, we've separated it out where we have 125 hours, the excess rate, the $20, and then the total FLSA premium is $2,500. And then down here we have the amount of taxes that were, withheld from his paycheck. And now, so sometimes, you might have to do this calculation manually yourself, or it might be reported on your W-2. So for 2025, the IRS did not require employers to separately state it on the W-2, but they could do that, their own volition, right? So if they wanted to do that, they could. So you might see something like this in box 14, FLSAOT premium, $2,500. So your employer is letting you know that was the premium paid. So that was your overtime premium at that 1/2 rate. Now in 2026 going forward, it's going to be reported on a separate line. So you won't see it in box 14, but for 2025, you might see it there. Okay? Okay. Let's go back to the return here. Excuse me. And we'll have a look at the Schedule 1A. So Schedule 1A has the no tax on tips, right? We're not covering that in this tutorial. We're just working with Part 3 here for the no tax on overtime. So we've got Part 3, line item 14A. We have qualified overtime comp that was included in your Form W-2 Box 1. So it should be included, right? Overtime pay, all of it is taxable, not just for federal income tax purposes, but for FICA, so Social Security and Medicare. So all of your overtime comp should be in box 1, and in this case it is. So we did have that amount included in box 1, and there we've separately stated the $2,500. That is going to be the deductible amount for us. Now, you can't just stop there, right? Because we have to apply the limitations, right? So remember, $12,005 if you're a single filer, $25K if you're married filing joint. So we work here on down to line 15. So enter the smaller of 12.5 or 25, and so we're working. Enter the smaller of what you see on line 14C or the limit, right? So if 14C is 20 grand and you're a single filer, you're going to be capped out at 12,005. All right, that's effectively how it works. So then line 16, we enter the amount from line 3. So line 3 is up here in part 1. This is the modified AGI calculation. So his AGI from page 2 is 88,260. So if I scroll up here so you can see that, here's his 11B amount, 88,260. So that's his adjusted gross income. And then when we do the modified AGI calc, there are certain adjustments. So things like, if you have the foreign earned income exclusion on a 2555, you might have some adjustments there. But in our case, none of these apply, lines 2A through 2D. So those are all zero. So our modified AGI is simply our, regular AGI, if you will. All right, so if we go back down to part 3, we've got our modified AGI there coming up from above. So line 16 is 88,260. And then now we have the phase out, right? So if your income is above 150K, single filer, above 300K as a joint filer, you're going to have to phase out the amount of the overtime deduction. In our case here, our income is well below the phase out threshold, so we're not going to have to limit the deduction. So we enter the 300K because this is a married filing joint return, and so we subtract the two values. If 0 or less, enter the amount from line 15 on line 21. Well, this is less than 0, so we're simply entering the line 15 amount, $2,500, on line 21. All right, so once that's completed, move on down to the bottom of the Schedule 1A. So we pass through Part 4. We're not doing that. Part 5. So our total deductions here is going to be the $2,500. And then it asks us to go back to page 2 of the 1040 and enter on line 13B. So if I scroll back up here, we'll just do a quick run through of page 1 so we can see that. So we do have a joint return. Again, whether you're a joint return or a single return, you can still take this deduction. And it's important to remember that you can take this deduction whether you itemize or claim the standard deduction, right? This is a separate calculation. So if we go down on to page 2, we can see a new entry here. This has been added. This was not there last year in 2024 because it is a new deduction. So we have the line 13B additional deductions from Schedule 1A, line 38, and then there's our $2,500 figure. So for John and Jane Smith here, they've got the 31.5 in standard plus the 2,500 deduction for the overtime comp, which leaves them 34,000 in total deductions. So they subtract the 88,260, or the 34K rather, from the 88,260, and they're left with 54,260 in taxable income. All right, so pretty straightforward. Just remember, the big ticket item to remember is, it's not the full amount of your overtime comp. It's just the excess, the premium amount, the FLSA OT premium. And also be mindful of the phase outs, right? So the deduction is capped, 12,005 or 25K. And then if your AGI is above those thresholds, you have to start chipping away at the amount of deduction available to you. And it could potentially go down to zero, right? If your income is high enough, the deduction is going to be phased out completely for you. All right, so that covers it for this tutorial. I hope that was helpful. Any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you.